Mr. Mohammed Alzubi, thank you for being here. The founder and managing partner of Nama Ventures.
That is correct.
How's Nama Ventures doing now?
Nama Ventures is a pre-seed fund that focused on fueling tech innovation, mainly in MENA وبالأخص in Saudi Arabia. Nama has made 35 investments that ranged in different geographies, Saudi, Egypt, UAE, Jordan. We've made bets in Pakistan, we've made bets in Nigeria, and bets in Silicon Valley with Arab and Arab Americans that are looking to kind of bring that innovation back to the region. We're sector agnostic, so we invest in prop tech, fintech, entertain tech, etc., as long as there's the word tech. And we lean more towards transactional deal flow versus gaming or content, etc. Alhamdulillah, Nama has become the de facto fund for a lot of the investors where they've outsourced early stage pre-seed seed to Nama, and they come and they follow on invest with us on the later stage rounds.
Okay, interesting. And you're based in Riyadh, you mentioned.
Yes, we're based in Riyadh. It's a virtual team.
It's a virtual team.
It's a virtual team. We're 7 team members, but I physically am based in Riyadh.
Okay.
We've got team members in Dubai and, you know, all over the...
And how do you see the Saudi ecosystem growing year after year, and you're being here for a while now?
I mean,
change.
So, 2018, I went to GITEX. And I used to always go to GITEX. And I remember the Saudi, Janah al-Saudi, the Saudi pavilion in GITEX 2010, 11, 12, was very humble. It was, you know, 3 or 4, you know, cubicles, etc. 2018, I remember the entrepreneurial section of GITEX was 60% of the pavilion. So back then I realized the giant has awakened. And I literally picked up and left, and you know, there's a saying that says, if you want to be a rancher, you go to Montana. If you want to catch the next entrepreneurial wave, it's in Riyadh. And you're witnessing it right now. Indeed. You know, a few weeks ago was Sleep, and you know, it's phenomenal what's happening. Nobody would have ever guessed it.
And as Nama Ventures, what are the main aspects that you look into a startup and an entrepreneur as well?
Look, since we're pre-seed, we're typically that first entrepreneurial or the first institutional check into the entrepreneur's journey. Nama invests in teams, and in real estate they say location, location, location. We say team, team, team. So to us, and there's no right or wrong answer, but you know, in Nama's school of thought, we invest in teams with complementary skill sets. We want to see who's the seller, who's the doer, who's the operator. They have role clarity. The seller knows they're the seller, the doer knows that they're the doer, and the operator knows they're going to make sure stuff gets done. Going after a de-risk business model. So we want to see an equivalent to you out west or out far east, where the valuation makes sense for the stage that you're in.
Okay.
Because our sweet spot is post-product but pre-revenue. So if you don't have any revenue, you haven't launched to the market, the only thing you can make an assessment on is the team, obviously. So we, foremost, what we look for is that impressive team. But we're unique as a fund because we invest in the team in pre-seed, but we double down on the winners in seed. And in the seed round, we want to see traction. Right? What has that team done with the pre-seed check from Nama, and show us the miracle in terms of the stage and the traction that you've done without money, in terms of, you know, double-digit month-on-month revenue growth, etc.
And the network is growing. Do you think Nama will remain at the pre-seed stages, or are you planning to expand it?
I mean, Nama is a constellation, or the vision is for it to be a constellation. I happen to be the champion of planet pre-seed seed. But don't forget, I left the dark side of the hedge world and late stage and followed my passion of angel investing into a fund that mimics angel investing. So, you know, we usually, sometimes, if you look at our press releases, we're the only ones in the round.
Yeah.
And look, we understand the asset class winner. We're the riskiest of the riskiest within venture capital, but it's the most rewarding. I mean, my nickname is the co-founder. because we're right there
Then I see you everywhere.
in the trenches,
Exactly.
in the entrepreneurial journey.
And let me get your eye on the gaps that you see in our ecosystem in the region, especially. Whether it's a sector or whether it's on operations or whether it's on a team level.
So the one thing that stands out, and again, I want to re-emphasize, it's not one size fits all, it's different schools of thought. At NEMA, we belong to the school of thought that a technology startup has a technical co-founder, right? Remember that Planet Doing? And we see a gap there. We don't have enough geeks in the Arab world to fill that gap. So we launched a charity, something called Amateco, which stands for I'm a Technical Co-Founder, to fill that technical gap. It's a directory of geeks. We ask them, are you a developer? Yes. Do you want to be a co-founder in a technology startup? Yes. Please register, because there's a whole lot of sellers that are looking for you. So this is the one thing that stands out, is not having enough technical co-founders in the technology startups in our part of the world.
And what's the business model for that? How do you
Amateco, it's a charity. I mean,
wow.
Look, one thing I've learned in spending a good chunk in Silicon Valley, there is trillions lines of code just to give. And in our part of the world, we need to encourage, we have to give in this ecosystem to get back. So we're actually launching something called NEMA Values, which are projects to the ecosystem for nothing in return, because there's an ultimate benefit. If we see better teams with better complementary skill sets, it's going to yield better results statistically that will end up generating better returns. The investors go and say, wait a second, this asset class makes money, let's start investing more in funds start deploying more into startups. So it's a cycle they want to enrich.
So okay, for all those startups and entrepreneurs that are, wanting to grow, wanting to join them eventually, how do they reach out to them?
We're fully transparent. Literally, all you have to do is go to www.nemaventures.com/submit. We have a very simple, basic form. You apply and you upload your pitch deck, and we guarantee you within 2 weeks that we either tell you it's a fit, let's do a Zoom, or we don't have enough information to base an opinion on, and we give you the parameters of what we look for in an ideal pitch deck, or we tell you it doesn't fit the model.
There's a lot of controversy upon signing NDAs and giving out those ideas to all those ventures for entrepreneurs and startups. How do you deal with it?
Funny you ask that. So one of the projects we're launching called Fikratek, which means your idea, and the premise is to demystify this concept that somebody's going to steal my idea. So we're going to put ideas out there, and the community is going to vote them. As a matter of fact, NEMA is going to sponsor some of these ideas and say, if you can go find a team to execute on this idea, we're going to fund it.
Amazing.
Because ideas are a dime a dozen. Ideas are the last thing. They say if you've got a good idea, 5 people have thought about it. If you've got a phenomenal idea, 15 people have thought about it. It's an execution game.
Yeah.
So no VC in their right mind signs an NDA, because we're in the business of hearing ideas. And trust me, I wrote my first check in 2005. There are no unique ideas. As a matter of fact, we hate it when you say, I am the only. It scares us. We want to see a healthy competitive landscape. Competition validates the markets. We want to see what's your unfair advantage, what's your competitive advantage over the competition where your solution differentiates. So if one thing you should never tell VCs, we don't have competition. It scares them, because there's a lot of smart people out there.
What are your thoughts on SVB collapse, and how does that impact the region? I mean, I know Saudi is not really impacted from that, but I mean, as a case,
it's going to have a profound impact, I think. But look, I've been in this game long enough to know we live in cycles. The 2008 cycle, the 2018 cycle. It's big cycles, and inside the big cycles there are smaller dips. This is just one bank. I mean, all the, and I'm not an expert, so I'm not a finance expert, indicate that this would not be a global-wide metric. It's just one fund, one bank that happens to be the most popular bank.
Yeah.
With entrepreneurs. Will it have impact? Absolutely. Will we weather the storm? Absolutely. Right? So it's a dip. You know, it might affect deployment in Silicon Valley till the dust settles and people know, especially funds. I mean, the FDIC only guarantees 250K that you'll have it on Monday.
Yeah.
The rest is, you know, might not be realized. So we hope that we'll weather that storm. We're lucky to not be affected, and our portfolio company, we have 4 companies in Silicon Valley, are not affected, but our hearts go out to all the funds and our colleagues and the entrepreneurs, because it's tough. It really is tough.
Yeah.
But I have no doubt, you know, perseverance always wins, and this is just a blip.
What's next for Nama Ventures for the coming year? You've mentioned so many projects that are in the pipeline are happening.
But these are the extracurricular activities. The core is deploying in technology startups. So we're open for business. And, you know, we get excited. It's going to sound funny, but we get excited when the macro climate is tough because, you know, we're a 5-year hedge. So the bets you're going to make now, they're going to be realized in 5 years in terms of an exit, etc. So, and it's a buyer's market right now. You know, we're to be ready to deploy. And I'll tell you on a personal level, my biggest winners came in crises. When nobody wants to deploy, it's the gutsy one, and we are venture capital. If we're not the gutsy ones, who's gonna deploy it? We should be the poster child of embracing risk. It's the business model. So we're excited what to come, and if you know any good startups and pre-seed, send them our way.
I'm sure there will be a lot coming. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Pleasure to see you always.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.